Today on Dr. Oz, using ancient wisdom for modern weight loss. The Ayurvedic plan to eat for your specific body type. The key to losing weight and feeling healthy. Here we go. Plus, she's the only girl in an all-boys club.
Yes.
Now, the king of all media's sidekick, Robin Quivers, on the health decision that helped her lose 70 pounds.
How'd you become the person you are now?
Coming up next on Dr. Oz.
So according to ancient philosophies, your body type, or dosha, holds the key to losing weight and to feeling healthy. So big question is, do you know your dosha? Today we're going to find out together. Dr. John Douillard has the Ayurvedic plan to eat for your body type. Welcome to the show. So describe these doshas to everybody, these body types.
Well, these body types are basically aspects of nature. So when you think of vata, think of cold and dry like winter. And when you think of pitta body type, think of hot and fiery like summer. And when you think of a kapha body type, think of wet and sort of heavy like spring quality. So they're just qualities of nature, really. And each body type has different mental, emotional, physical characteristics. And really, to maintain optimal health, we have to eat according to our body type.
So it's a little hard to understand it just from very succinct explanations like this. So we took a little time today. So I want you all to find your doshas. I'm going to walk you through them one by one. The first is the vata type.
Are you thin with a small frame? Do you worry and stress out a lot? Do you get constipated frequently? Do you often feel cold, especially in winter, but even in summer? Gwyneth Paltrow and Zoe Saldana are classic vata body types. Could you be a vata too?
All right, so you all heard that. Let me see a show of hands. Who thinks they're a vata type? A vata type. You have a couple of you. It's hard to process. Hi, what's your name?
My name's Tiffany.
Tiffany. So again, vata types, I want you to understand these, because if you don't understand your body type, you're not going to be able to follow the program I'm about to offer you. But there are billions of people around the world who use this as their main way of understanding their health, so it's important to me. So why do you think you're a vata?
I think I'm a vata because I'm thin. I constantly try to gain weight. I can't. I'm always constipated and I get cold so fast.
Well, thanks for acknowledging the constipation. Which most people don't. Dr. Douillard, is this keep standing, is this what a vata type person looks like physically?
Yeah, perfectly. I mean, she's thinner framed, she's a lighter build. And when you think of the qualities of winter, which are cold and dry, her hands and feet are probably cold all the time. And unless we give her foods that are warmer, it's going to make her more constipated.
Nice job. All right, now the next body type is really important to listen to. This is a very common one. It's called the pitta dosha.
Are you of medium build but gain all your weight in your belly? Have you got a quick temper? Are you prone to rashes and stomach aches? Do you hate hot weather? Michelle Obama and Kate Winslet are examples of the pitta body type. Could you be a pitta too?
So I want everyone to raise their hand if they're a pitta body type. I'm putting my hand up. I'm a pitta. Who are the pittas over here? Oh, good. Sandra, what's your first name?
Kate.
Kate, so why do you think you're a pitta type?
Well, I definitely gain all my weight in my middle. That was absolutely me. I'm very fiery. I'm very, I like to be active and moving around like fire. That sounds a lot like me, and I don't really like it when it's hot.
All right, so you think you're a pitta. Is this what a pitta does and what it feel like and look like?
Pitta body types are medium framed. Remember, they're more like summer, so they have a lot of heat inside of them. So like she said, she doesn't like the hot weather. And the body type of pitta, even though it's fiery, competitive, and driven, can do so many things. They tend to get a little inflamed, and that can happen in the belly, get a little distended belly. So we're going to work on that.
I have that all the time, by the way. I get distended like this. That's why I do so many shows on bloating.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, the final dosha is the kapha body type.
Do you have a large, sturdy frame and gain weight easily, especially in winter? Are you a calm and easygoing person? Do you get colds and congestion frequently? Do you feel tired most of the time? Melissa McCarthy and Queen Latifah have the kapha body type. Could you be a kapha too?
All right, hands up for the kaphas out there. How many kaphas are there? I know there are more kaphas than that. This is probably a very common one. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Dr. Oz?
What's your name?
My name is Stormy.
So Stormy?
Yes.
Oh, it's a good name.
Thank you.
So Stormy, describe your kapha body type characteristics.
Well, I'm calm and easygoing. I gain weight easily. I have a sturdy build. And I often get sick. Often. Yeah, a lot of times I get sick during the winter.
When others aren't getting sick, you're not feeling well.
Yeah, most of the time.
Are you mucousy?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, because that's the one thing I remember about the kaphas. So, Dr. Douillard, Kapha. Yes.
Yeah,
no?
perfect. Kapha, they're spring quality, so they're heavy and they're a little wet, so they hold on to more water. Think of taking a hike in the springtime, you're going to get muddy. So the earth holds on to more water, Kapha types hold on to more water. But they're also easygoing and calm. Everybody loves the Kapha type. I'm sure you have tons of friends. People love you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
She looks very lovable.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. Now, Dr. Diordan, the Ayurvedic plan to eat for your body type. Let's get to each dosha. We're going to start back behind a table that's very important. And I'm going to point this out. For the Vata dosha, which is the first one we talked about, we'll start there. There's an important food rule here that you have to eat protein and fats in the winter. Let me speak, if you don't mind, about this season issue. So you actually argue that the foods that these body types, in fact, that all of us, no matter what our body type eats, have to be different in the winter than in other seasons.
Dramatically.
Why is that?
Well, because you just think of, squirrels, they eat nuts in the winter. They're higher protein, higher fat. In the winter, all of us get cold and dry, and nature always provides the antidote to the extreme of each season. So, for example, and when it's cold and dry, you harvest more nuts and seeds and heavy protein, higher fats. We crave soups and stews and these warmer foods, and those are the perfect foods to actually support our nervous system, our immune system, and they actually change our microbes in our gut. Our bugs in our intestinal tract should change dramatically from one season to the next.
Yeah, I heard about deers. They die if they eat the wrong season food.
That's exactly right. So if deer are supposed to eat, bark in the winter, and they have microbes to do that, and they eat leaves in the summer, and they have microbes to do that. If you don't have the right microbes, it could cause such indigestion, it could literally kill them. So I'm thinking, if deer die when they eat out of season, what happens to us? How can we completely ignore the logic of nature, the prescription of one season harvesting foods for each, for all of us, that we could change dramatically, change our microbes dramatically, support immunity, mental health, according to our body type.
So you know your body type now. We're going to walk you through the winter program just in time for winter. All right. So what are the best sources of protein?
Well, you have animal proteins here, meat and eggs. They're higher protein, higher fat. Here we have nuts. They're higher in protein, higher fat. The Vata body types, they really need these heavier, warmer, high protein, high fat foods.
All right, and then you have, in addition to the major sources of protein and some fats, there are a couple extras that you believe in the wintertime, especially Vatas, have to use.
Avocados, 85% fat. They're harvested in the wintertime in tropical climates, so we can eat them here and get incredible benefit. Olive oil, harvested in the fall for winter eating, again, incredible benefit. Ghee is clarified butter. There's literally, your intestinal tract has microbes that actually make ghee inside the intestinal tract.
Is that right?
Our gut has its own manufacturing site for ghee. So taking that in the winter to calm Vata, fantastic.
You believe there are teas that are important for each of these three body types. The first is the licorice and cinnamon tea.
Well, cinnamon is warming, so it's great in the winter to get us warm, and Vata types tend to be cold, right? So that's very good for them. And the licorice is sort of slimy, and when Vata types get dry, it slimes and lubricates the whole intestinal tract plus the respiratory tract, so great for Vata.
All right, so let's move on to the Pitta doshas. Again, we talked about them in terms of the characteristics. I happen to be sort of a Pitta person, but there are a lot of me out there. You want us to eat one serving, listen carefully, of a bile-moving food every day. Now, I've never thought about bile movers in my life.
Well, think about, our Pitta body type tends to gain weight around the middle, right?
Yep.
So if you eat a lot of bile movers, it flushes all those toxins to the toilet. So we have artichokes, a fantastic bile mover. Kale, another bile mover. Beets, my favorite bile mover. And then over here you have apples, which are great fiber, but they have malic acid. And that opens up the bile ducts and flushes all the bile out of the system. So, if you could eat one serving of these per day during the wintertime, they're perfect foods to help get that pitta out of the body, get that inflammation out of the body. Give you a flat belly.
I want to have bile movements from now on.
There you go.
Full of bile. Now, there's a different fat for the pittas and the vatas.
Coconut are cooling. It's very cooling, so it helps the pitta stay calm, but it's oily, so it keeps them sort of slimy and not too dry in the winter. Good fats help get rid of bad fat.
And the tea for us is chamomile.
Chamomile, again, very cooling and a little slimy. Keeps the body balanced in the wintertime.
Yeah, for people who have a summer-type constitution.
Yep.
All right, the next area we're going to talk about are the kapha body types. Many of you see yourselves as a kapha body type. You can eat lean proteins and carbs. Explain the rule.
Kapha body types are heavier. So the nature of the kapha type is they don't want to eat too many heavy foods because they're already heavy. So instead of giving them things like nuts, we give them seeds. Pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds are a little easier to digest.
Lighter.
So the kapha type doesn't get too heavy. We give them, instead of lots of meat and animal proteins, we give them mung beans. And mung beans are a fantastic protein loaded with fiber to get the bile into the toilet, but they also have what are called anti-flatulence factors. This is the
I love it.
We all know, right, that beans give us gas, right?
Yes.
Mung beans has these anti-flatulence factors.
Are you kidding?
Yes, I'm not kidding.
I can't believe it. I've missed mung beans my whole life. Rhymes with dung.
Yep.
And no gas.
Yeah, rice and beans, there you go.
Right, mung and beans. Okay.
And Brussels sprouts, again, loaded with fiber.
Yep.
And they also have a lot of vitamin C and a lot of vitamin K. And grapefruits loaded with vitamin C for circulation. Also, the white part of the grapefruit, the pith, is actually an ancient Ayurvedic medicine for the lymphatic system, for microcirculation, for your cellulite. So if you want to, when you're eating your grapefruit, don't just eat the fruit. Get that white stuff because that actually supports better circulation and actually helps improve cellulite.
They'll eat the whole rind.
Right.
Tell them to get rid of the cellulite. The whole thing goes down.
Yeah, there
All
you
right,
go.
last tip, the tea for the kapha type.
The best tea for kapha types is ginger because it's warming, it increases digestion, it helps the body burn fat, it's anti-inflammatory. In the wintertime, when it's cold, this is a perfect tea to stimulate that kapha type.
I love that you open all of our eyes to the possibility that the meals we eat in the winter need to be different. Not just because we crave them, but our body craves them as well. For more on the Ayurvedic plan to eat for your body type and for the right season, as well as an excerpt from Dr. Doyar's book, The 3-Season Diet, log on to droz.com. Be right back.
Next, diagnosed with a serious disease, Robin Quivers beat the odds. The incredible health journey and diet that saved her life, making food her medicine, and helped her lose 70 pounds. Find out her secrets to losing weight and staying healthy. Next. Barbara Streisand, her fight against the #1 killer in women.
1 out of 3 of you will die of it.
And the moment she never expected.
Oh my God.
All new Oz. That's coming up tomorrow.
The woman you're about to meet has gone through an incredible health journey that she says helped her lose 70 pounds and stay alive. Robin Quivers is best known, she's fantastic, as the longtime sensible sidekick to radio shock jock Howard Stern. When it comes to sharing her secret to losing weight and getting healthy, Robin is front and center.
Loyal listeners can't get enough of Robin Quivers' charm, wit, and larger-than-life laugh. On The Howard Stern Show.
Such a scream.
It's a labor of love that's lasted more than 30 years. And over that time, Robin has been very candid about her ongoing struggle with weight. She says the events of 9/11 were the wake-up call that got her to start eating healthier and get her weight back on track. Robin switched to a plant-based diet, and incredibly, she now says that change actually saved her life. Today, find out how.
Robin Quivers is here. Come on out. Oh, I love having you back. Come on, join us. So last time you were here, and this was unbelievable. I don't know if you all remember this, but Robin had gone through a 12-hour cancer surgery.
Yes.
To remove your uterus. I mean, this was really touch and go. How you doing?
I'm doing great. All the scans have been negative, the blood work is good, and I feel great. So
Fantastic.
thank you.
Now, not everyone gets to recover from 12-hour cancer surgery. And I think part of the reason that I think you appropriately believe you did so well is because you're so healthy. But you weren't always the perfect eater that you are today.
Absolutely not. And there were a lot of repercussions from not eating so healthy. And I really wasn't getting the most out of life.
Well, if I can share this, you were 70 pounds overweight.
Yes.
I think we have actually a picture of the remarkable transformation. And what does it feel like to be 70 pounds heavier than you are now?
Well, when I look at that person, I say she put a big smile on her face every day, and she went out and she faced the world as best she could. But it led to a feeling of failure and a little bit of, self-defeating, feelings and just depression, because I didn't want to look that way and I didn't feel good and I was not enjoying my life.
So how did you finally figure out and develop this philosophy that food is medicine?
Well, I finally heard about fasting, and so I tried a fast, and that's when I made the connection that what I was eating had something to do with how I was feeling, because the moment I was away from the food, I started to feel better. And what I learned was, when you're numb to how your body feels when you eat, because you're constantly barraging it with the wrong things, you don't get to notice what's good for you and what's bad for you.
So Robin wants to share her secrets. This is a fabulous book called The Veducation of Robin. It's just out in paperback, and it walks us through a lot of the things, the practical things you did to regain your health, to be able to survive a cancer you never would have expected. So if it's okay, you're going to share with us exactly how you make some of these foods.
Absolutely. I will go through a day of food.
Come on over.
All right.
Come on. These are nutrient-dense foods.
Yes.
Does Howard ever eat these foods, by the way?
Howard has become what I would call a pescatarian.
Oh, you're influencing him.
When we first got together, of course, we both ate everything. And when I first started my plant-based journey, he just scoffed at me. But now he says, I really admire you. And he has gotten to the point where he no longer eats red meat, and he's now given up chicken and other kinds of poultry and white meat.
Fish and veggies, pretty much.
And down to fish and veggies.
So I made this little replica, I think, of what you normally would eat in a day.
Yes.
If you don't mind, walk us through it. Notice there's protein in all these meals, which is really important to begin a healthy diet. So you've got this peach and almond smoothie.
Yes, and the protein comes from almond milk and almond butter. So that's where you get it, and that means that it's going to be filling and tasty and, will get you through several hours without feeling hungry. It's very filling.
You eat that as soon as you get up in the morning?
Yeah, that's my breakfast.
You have now snack. This is not a typical snack.
No, this is a mid-morning snack. If I'm on the air and I want something to eat, I'll grab some Castelvetrano olives and some carrots, and they're delicious together.
I'd add garlic to this and I'd mess with Howard's brain. With that sound booth. All right. So
don't come in.
This is a broccoli puree?
This is we call it a broccoli soup in the book. And, it's just, the wonderful thing is that these soups are nice and rich and creamy. There's no potato making it creamy. There's no cream making it creamy. That's just the way we combine the vegetables. And that was the whole purpose of the book, is to show people how to make vegetables delicious. And so all of the recipes are tasty and filling. And then we paired that with an haricot vert salad that has hazelnuts in it that gives you the protein in this dish. And that's,
I love the way you use nuts throughout the entire book, by the way.
Yeah, nuts are really wonderful.
More nuts here from the mid-afternoon snack. What is this?
This is a green juice. And again, I really like drinking green.
I make my green juice at the beginning of the week. You don't have to actually make it the minute you have to drink it.
And that's a lot of, what I wanted to say about a lot of these things, because oftentimes what I hear people saying is they don't have time to cook. First of all, vegetables cook very quickly, number one. And number two, they store well. So there's easy ways to have fast, convenient meals. And so this is my dinner. I would have some lentils, and these are some oven roasted tomatoes and some Brussels sprouts.
What's your favorite vegetable of all?
I think it's Brussels sprouts, and that's a vegetable I never would have touched before I became a vegan, but they're delicious and they're delightful when they're handled well.
Well, doing all that, she actually ran a marathon recently, believe it or not, because of all this.
2010.
All right, you can find all these recipes at DrOz.com. Be sure to pick up Robin's cookbook, The Veducation of Robin. Be right back. Thank you for coming. I love this going on.
Next, bleeding, back pain, constipation. You might be suffering from fibroids. They could even cause infertility. Don't wait. What you need to know to prevent them and the plan to help every woman lower her risk. Next.
This is a fibroid, and whether it's as tiny as this or as big as this, and everything in between, they can cause cramps, back pain, bleeding, constipation, UTIs, even infertility. So today, I've got a plan to lower your risk of getting fibroids. Joining me is gynecologist Dr. Evelyn Minai, who's so good at this. So Who is? Thank you. It's a big fibroid, isn't
Yes,
it?
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Ricardo is here.
And who's most at risk of getting fibroids?
Well, you know, traditionally it's always been Black and Hispanic women, okay, have been traditionally said, well, you know, you're at an increased risk for fibroids. But actually, white women as well, we're seeing a lot more increase, and we think it's because of an increase in body mass index.
All right, so today we have a plan to help every woman who wants to lower her risk of fibroids. The first step is a very important one, and again, this is fairly new information. It turns out that you want to get your protein not from red meat, but from beans. Now, why is that?
Okay, well, this study was in actuality done in Italy, so mangiare, okay, and a lot of mangiare. And what they found is that the women that had more red meat and ham, so it wasn't only red meat, believe it or not, had increase in fibroid size as opposed to eating beans.
If I would take a minute. This is so important. I want to show you with an animation why we think this might be the case. Why eating meat may increase your risk of having fibroids that are especially the ones that are larger. When you eat red meat, it seems to increase the amount of estrogen in your body. There's the uterus there, and there's little purple estrogens there floating around. And when they lasso on to a fibroid, a mutant cell, it's like a fertilizer. The extra estrogen settles down there. It turns on these mutated cells in the uterus, stimulates them to get bigger and bigger and bigger and larger. Now, when you eat foods like beans, they're packed with something called a phytoestrogen. It looks, see the blue ones? They look like the purple ones. They look like estrogen, but they're not quite the same. The blue phytoestrogens settle down again, set up shop here, and once they're sitting there, nothing can get to them. So regular estrogen, coming from wherever it comes from, these little purple things, they're bouncing all over the place. They can't land and turn on these cells, the cells in the uterus that are causing fibroids. So the recommendation is you want women to have 1 servings of beans. Which ones are the best ones?
Well, any kind of bean is fine. You'll be 40. I will tell you,
Yes.
you'll be very, very 40.
It's a medical term.
Yeah, exactly. It is a medical terminology, you know, okay? However, I'm going to tell you, out of all the beans, you know, it's anything that you can tolerate, honestly, okay? But every bean is really, really good.
You've taught me so much between the edamames, the navy beans, the cannellini beans, but
Yes.
my favorite ones today are mung beans.
Mung beans.
Man, they sound like dung. Mung beans, they don't make gas.
Oh, there you
So
go.
for those of you like me who have problems with gas,
Me too.
all of us.
All of us
This is
do.
a little press after the show. This is
I know, TMI, I know.
The TMI, okay. So next idea, and you brought this up, is issue of weight gain.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
you want us to all lose 5 pounds.
At least, okay? And I'm going to tell you, the reason being is because when we gain weight, not only are we making estrogen in our ovaries, what we normally do, when we do pack on a little bit of the poundage, unfortunately, in our fat cells themselves, they actually produce estrogen, making our fibroids grow. So if you substitute some of your junk, really for vegetables and green leafy vegetables in particular, it's so much better for you.
One more reason that just 5 pounds makes a difference. 5 pounds.
And
okay.
a big difference.
Next idea is birth control. And again, this is thought of usually not in this context, but why is this so important?
I'm going to tell you, the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology did come out with a recommendation, which, by the way, practicing gynecologists have always known. Birth control pills, the way that they work is they actually suppress your natural hormone, okay? So what happens is that obviously, just like in our picture, it stops the estrogen from binding, which is awesome. But not only that, in the injection form, which is called Depo-Provera, in that brand, that's a progesterone-only kind of shot that's given every 3 months, not only will control your bleeding, okay, from sometimes fibroids, but your last shot, the effect of it shrinking or not even making it grow lasts for 10 years.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
A 10-year benefit?
A 10-year benefit. That is amazing.
I don't have fibroids. I think about it.
Yes, I would think about it also.
So one of our viewers, Janice, has fibroids, and she takes actually these oral contraceptives. Yes. Welcome to the show, Janice.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Now, I understand your mom had fibroids.
That's right.
Did that make you worry about them much?
No, actually, it didn't. Actually, I just going along, you know, living my life and everything, and then my period started going crazy on me. Yeah. And essentially, you know, I was like, I don't know what's going on. So I went to see my doctor. He sent me for an ultrasound, and it was revealed, yeah, I had fibroids.
I understand they put you on birth control pills. Have they made a difference?
Right. That was actually less than a year ago, so I don't know if it's conclusively made a difference, but the intensity of the periods, yeah, that's far less.
That's a good start.
But that's a good start. And again, see what you said? The family history, early intervention, and had you maybe started this a little bit earlier, maybe we would have already had all the effects.
Maybe,
so
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. You know, family history, get that communication to your doc. Make sure that you can do something about it, just to lower your risk a little bit.
If you had told me this earlier, Janice wouldn't have been in this situation.
Exactly, right?
All right, the last step of Dr. Minaya's plan to lower your risk of fibroids is to take a vitamin D supplement daily.
And this is easy peasy weasy, let me tell you. Okay, and the vitamin D, what we think is it stops the cells from growing.
You take vitamin D, Janice?
I do actually.
Oh,
it's called
girl.
D-drops. I put it on my hand, drop it, and
Good for you.
Yes,
Good for you.
yeah.
So 1,000 units a day, that's what I
Right.
recommend.
Yep.
Some folks need a little bit more.
Right.
And I have one last little tip, if you don't mind.
Oh.
This is an addition, my personal contribution to Dr. Minaya's plan.
Okay.
Ta-da.
Oh, yay, that's what I'm talking.
Do you like alcohol?
Like most people, yeah.
What do you normally drink?
White wine, actually. Although red, it works well for me.
Perfect. Anything but beer. Now, here's the deal. Alcohol in general is not great for fibroids. We've known that for a while, but there's a recent study that showed that women who drink beer are more likely to have fibroids. So if you're going to have a drink, go ahead, let's toast to your getting better,
thank
Janice.
you.
I recommend that it be wine. You get one toast.
Thank you, thank you.
Toast to you guys.
Salud.
Dr. Minaya, salud. Thank you very much.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Coming up, it's the season of giving, and sometimes you just want to give back what you get. Discover 4 of the best health gifts that you'll be happy to keep and not return.
They're good.
Affordable, practical presents that could transform your life. Next. Barbara Streisand, her fight against the #1 killer in women,
1 out of 3 of you will die of it.
and the moment she never expected.
Oh my God.
All new Oz. That's coming up tomorrow.
It's the season of giving, but sometimes you just want to give back what you get. So I asked my viewers to send me their stories about the worst gift they've ever received. Here are the best of the worst.
One year I got a Christmas gift from a coworker. It was a curling iron and it had a hair in it and it was used.
My husband and I received a basket of assorted meats and cheeses as a secret Santa gift, which looked nice until I realized they had expired 2 years ago.
My husband and I threw a dinner party, and one of our guests brought us a cheese platter. We thought it was beautiful. And then they came back again and brought us another one.
Last year, I got a case of steaks. I'm a vegetarian.
I had just gotten married, and my mother gave us twin-size sheets. Awkward.
After I gave birth to my first child, my husband came to the hospital with this beautiful box. I was expecting a diamond bracelet, beautiful earrings, and it was a salad shooter. A salad shooter. What was he thinking?
Today, the best health gifts that won't get returned. And the best part is they're inexpensive and they can transform your health. Let's get to the presents. Bianca's here with her favorite health gift. Surprise me. What do you got?
This, Dr. Oz, is the best gift ever. It's a spiralizer. All you gotta do, a spiralizer. All you gotta do is take any kind of vegetable, fruit, whatever, stick it in, and it makes noodles. Just like that.
Goodness. Oh, look at them. They're beautiful.
Right, you can do anything. Squash, zucchini, sweet potatoes, apples, anything.
So you actually made us a recipe. This is
I
called,
did.
What's it called? Confetti?
Confetti spaghetti.
Spaghetti. Oh,
Spaghetti for the zucchini noodles,
Very
right?
clever. It's good branding.
Yes. So all I did was take zucchini and squash, spiralized it up with some artichoke, pesto, sun-dried tomato, and Kalamata olives.
So here's the big question. Is it worth it to make your own spaghetti instead of spaghetti? So I did a little math.
Okay.
Regular old traditional spaghetti has 221 calories per cup, 43 grams of carbohydrates. Yours, my dear, when I look at your spaghetti, 1 cup of veggie spaghetti, 27 calories, 5 grams of carbs. Which is why it is worth it.
It's so worth it.
I'm putting it in my pocket. I'm taking it home
Exactly,
with
you
me.
should take it.
This is a very smart idea.
Indeed.
Thank you, Bianca.
Thank you.
All right, Kim is here with the gift of sleep, something that's priceless. What do you got for us, Kim?
Well, Dr. Oz, this pillow is excellent. It's the best gift I ever got. It's awesome.
What does it do?
It's a cooling pillow. So at night, it's not nice to be sweaty in the neck, you know, especially laying next to your partner.
So it looks like this when you're sleeping on it?
Yes, it looks just like that when you're sleeping on it. It keeps you nice and cool and quiet, you know, it's very comfy.
So I didn't know anything about this. I was curious, so I looked into it. It comes like this with a pillowcase. So you put the pillowcase around the pillow you already have at home. You don't have to buy a new one.
Yes.
There's a little pocket here, like that. You put the cooling element inside this pocket, and when you're done, it looks like that. And here's the part I like the most. You don't have to do anything. It will last for years, apparently, from what I'm understanding. For the first 2 hours you're lying down at night, it will suck the heat out of your head, keeping your head cool, which is the reason many of us don't sleep. And then next day,
you feel refreshed.
Yeah, and then the next night it's ready again. You don't have to do anything about it.
Exactly.
Thank you very much for the gift.
Thank
you wouldn't
you.
return this one.
Nope.
All right. Next up is Tracy. And she has a gift that she would not return either. Who gave this to you?
But first, Dr. Oz, how are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for coming with your gift.
Thank you. Before I talk about my awesome mug, I have to just piggyback off of the cooling pillow.
Oh.
This is daytime TV, but it's the best thing since the best thing I ever had.
It helps?
Oh my God, with my hot flashes at night, oh my God, it's the best thing. But my mug is also the best thing ever.
Two for here. All right.
And you get a 2 for 1, Dr. Oz. I mean, I'm a coffee drinker. So anyone that drinks coffee, you know you have to have hot coffee. There's nothing like lukewarm coffee. So I make it in the morning, and even in the afternoon when I go to sip it, ooh, it's still hot, Dr. Oz.
So it looks like this. It seals over, right?
It seals over.
So I wanted to test it. So these were all poured this morning. We really did. We took the coffee mugs, filled them in. There we are. It's very early in the morning. And then once we fill them up, we put this cap on them, which insulates them. And when you drink it, it's a very simple mechanism. You can just sort of unlock it so it doesn't spill on you. Just push this little button. And everything, you push the little back part here, you give a little tiny little slit so you don't lose any. I wanted to check the temperature on this.
Yes.
So I put a candy thermometer in here, and it looks like about 150.
And that's all day, Dr.
Oh, even
Oz.
more. Look at that. That's after a whole day. That's pretty. Can you all see that?
Dr. Oz, you stay hot all day.
We got a lot going on here. You go get in that bed with that cooling blanket. Thank you very much. All right, Rosangela's up here with the next health gift that you loved and would never give away. What is it?
I want to show you, but first I would like you to taste this.
Oh, I like that. I love this.
This is my very berry Christmas.
Very berry.
Yes.
They're good.
Aren't they?
Yeah.
And they're not just good, but it's really good for you.
And this is the gift you make it with?
This is called the dessert bullet. It's very easy to use. So all you have to do is grab the frozen fruits that you want to use. So we'll start with some raspberries. And then we'll put some blueberries in here. And
these are all frozen, right?
These are all frozen, yeah. And then
the bananas you peel ahead of time, I gather.
Yeah, the bananas we peel ahead of time.
I love this noise.
And then
can I turn it on?
Just turn it on and squish it.
Oh, it's like soft serve ice cream.
That's it.
Oh, it's the best.
Isn't it delicious?
I like this. This is a really good idea.
It is.
Yeah, it tastes good too. What other desserts have you made with it?
We've tried the s'mores. We have an 8-year-old daughter, and she loves desserts. So this is our version of s'mores. Very easy to make also. Just use the frozen bananas, a little bit of cocoa powder, and use the chocolate chips. And you can even sprinkle a few marshmallows on top and not feel guilty about it.
I love getting advice from the viewers. These are 4 wonderful tips. Thanks for being part of this. You can find our holiday gift giving guide on DrOz.com. I'm going to collect all your best ideas and share them so we can all take advantage of them. Be right back.
Next, Tim Shriver is redefining the way we see one another, recognizing the special talents of people with disabilities, shattering stereotypes and promoting acceptance. He's putting an end to the use of the R word. Dr. Oz's touching surprise is next.
We are bringing healthy back this season and want you to bring it too. Grab your prescription pad for fun and sign up for free tickets today. You can go to DrOz.com/tickets and sign up. Did I get it right? One man is not only making a difference in how we see each other, but the way we speak to each other, especially when it comes to people with disabilities. Meet Tim Shriver.
Tim Shriver was born to a legacy of leadership and social activism. The third child of Sergeant Shriver and Eunice Kennedy, Shriver continues to carry his mother's torch for children's health and disability issues. After spending 15 years in public education, Tim took on his current role, Chairman and CEO of the Special Olympics. Under his leadership, the Special Olympics has evolved into a worldwide movement of acceptance, inclusion, and respect for individuals with intellectual disabilities. Now, he wants to shatter the stereotypes used to label disabilities too. Today, Tim Shriver's campaign to stop the use of what he calls the R word. He's urging all of us to spread the word, to end the word.
My friend and the chairman of the Special Olympics, Tim Shriver, is here.
Dr.
The
Oz.
R word. I've heard you in many different ways, many different settings, talk about why you're so passionate about this.
Well, I think it's a word that's been used to humiliate people. Really, frankly, to make people try to feel ashamed of themselves. It's a word that we use in popular language as though it's funny. But what it really connotes is somebody who's hopeless, somebody who's stupid, somebody who's undesirable. And when we use those words and they refer to human beings, we're doing things that are really, it's a form of almost verbal violence, if not at least bullying. And we ask people not to use it, not because we're the word police or because we want to be politically correct, but because we want to give people the option of not causing others pain.
If you don't mind, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here. Just say the word once. Maybe
the word, it's a word that used to be used in medical diagnosis, mental retardation. It became a playground taunt. You're a retard.
Yeah.
And almost everyone, to be honest, including me, used the word at different times in our lives. So it's part of a whole awareness that comes from actually giving people who in some ways are the most vulnerable people in our society dignity.
You have spent your life fulfilling your mother's legacy, not building your own. What have these kids taught you, the Special Olympics kids?
Well, you know, Dr. Oz, when a mom has a child with special needs, they see a baby, they see a young person who the world sees as having a lot of things wrong with them. And what those moms and dads tend to learn right away is there's nothing wrong with that child there's nothing about that child that's not lovable, it's not beautiful, it's not perfect, just like any other child. Those moms and dads have brought these children into the world with this kind of unconditional love that's actually rare among even parents. And this book, Fully Alive, is my attempt to try to channel their story, the way in which they taught their story to me.
It's a very poetic effort. I felt the best way to bring it alive might be actually to get some of these wonderful athletes to send you a message. So take a look.
Thanks.
My name is Ibrahim from Egypt.
I'm Frank Stephens from Fairfax, Virginia.
Hey Tim, it's Eddie, your special advisor. Your compassion and hard work is inspiring. You've done so much to promote acceptance and inclusion, and I am proud to call you one of my best friends.
Thank you for always recognizing the special talents of people with disabilities.
My sport is bowling.
I swim.
Hi Tim, it's Dustin Plunkett. Thanks for all you do for Special Olympics healthy athletes. Without all of you, I would not be fully alive.
Shukran. Merci beaucoup.
That's so wonderful. You can see how if that was your community, you'd want to write a book to tell their story. How beautiful, right? Thank you.
I'm going to point out, called Fully Alive. Tim did something special. You wrote very candidly about your family, because to understand why you're doing this, you have to do that. How do they feel about you telling their story so openly?
Well, I think, my take on this is that fear and pain and secrets are much worse than the alternative. In my family's story, I think for a long time, people were just too uncomfortable that trusting the world with the story of Rosemary, with her beauty as a child who had an intellectual disability, with the way in which she shaped her brothers and sisters, one of whom ended up becoming the President of the United States. But it was probably more influenced by the tenderness of a person who became what the world would see as an insignificant person, but who probably shaped that presidency, in my view, as much as anybody else on earth.
I realized how important it was, and sometimes difficult to talk about these issues, but I knew someone would be willing to talk about you very openly. So this is what someone in Tim's family, his sister, has to say about him.
Oh, no.
Hi, Timmy. I decided to do this video for you without
makeup and with dirty hair, because I love you that much. And Mehmet said he needed it immediately. So I feel so fully alive. So I'm so proud of you with this book. I'm telling everybody to buy it because most people don't feel fully alive. But when I'm in your presence, I feel fully alive. I kind of feel fully alive when I'm in Mehmet's presence too.
She feels fully alive with me too.
But I mean, yeah, you too. But I mean, if you ask the audience, do you feel fully alive? I mean, everybody wants to say yes, right? Yeah. Don't we? Do we feel fully alive?
Yes.
I mean, no, that's not fully alive. Can I tell you guys, that was not a fully alive cheer.
Give him a fully alive.
Feel fully alive.
Tim Shriver, love you, man.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Tell us, who's your biggest health hero?
My father. He was a pack-a-day smoker for 25 years, and the moment he had some minor health problems, he quit cold turkey and started exercising. He's my #1 health hero.
Share your story on Dr. Oz's Facebook page. All new Dr. Oz, the one.
We watch you every day.
The only.
I'm still a work in progress.
Barbara Streisand.
I want women to be powerful.
Her passion to fight the #1 killer in women.
1 out of 3 of you will die of it.
And the moment she never expected.
Have you ever held a heart?
No, but I'd like to. Oh my God.
All new Dr. Oz. That's coming up tomorrow.
I know what you've been searching for. In fact, my friends at Google gave me some scoop. They say one of the top health searches this month was this question: how many calories is in an egg? Ready for the answer? A large boiled egg has 78 calories. And at 17 cents a pop, they are an inexpensive food that is rich in protein and vitamin B. Now it's time for In Case You Missed It. First, we had an Ayurvedic plan to eat for your body type. So we can help you figure out what kind of Ayurvedic body type you had, whether it was a Vata or Pitta or a Kapha. Our expert revealed the best foods to eat for your body type once you have that information, and we customize it for the winner. You can log on to DrOz.com to make sure you have the right body type. And if you're like me, you're a Pitta, so you have sort of medium build, quick temper, you gain weight in the middle, and I'm not a fan of the really hot weather. So if you need to cool yourself down, which is what Pittas need to do, then even in the wintertime you have this issue, you want to have 1 serving of veggies that clear out your bile, like artichokes and kale and beets and apples. Now make sure to cook these foods. And for more on the Ayurvedic plan that I mentioned, you can go to DrOz.com no matter what your body type is. Next, we talked about lowering your risk of fibroids. And we showed a bunch of them, but the key message here is eating a serve of beans a day, serving of beans of any kind can lower your risk of developing fibroids. Beans contain phytoestrogens that can thwart the growth of fibroids. So soybeans, black beans, green beans, but mung beans, many of you have not tried. Mung beans are great. All of these have lots of protein, but mung beans won't give you gas. So you can show off to your friends, have lots of beans, not have any problems. And next, one of my favorite segments of all was on our holiday gifts. A viewer showed me this pasta spiralizer. It's very simple to use. You put the pasta equivalent, which is the zucchini, in here, twist it around, and next thing you know, look what's coming out of there. Basically, you're making pasta. Tastes great. It's a creative way to keep the family and friends healthy and happy this season. It doesn't cost much, so give it away as gifts. You can make something like a pasta, as they called it, a spaghetti. Yeah, zucchini-made spaghetti. Tasted fantastic. Finally, be careful about dubious people online that make it seem like I'm endorsing their products. I don't. To see a full list of our trusted sponsorship partners, go to DrOz.com, and I'll see you next time.